Ladies and gentlemen, confidence. It's one of the most admired traits in the world today. We instinctively associate it with competence, leadership, and trustworthiness. And yet, in some cases, confidence can be nothing more than an illusion, a mask. Psychopaths, in particular, are masters at faking confidence so convincingly that they can deceive even the most astute observer. To understand how they achieve this, we must first examine what a psychopath is. A psychopath isn't just someone who lacks empathy or emotion, it's someone who weaponizes that absence. They're predators in the social landscape, keenly attuned to the vulnerabilities of others. And what better way to exploit those vulnerabilities than by presenting themselves as confident and trustworthy? The confidence they exude isn't built on self-belief or competence. It's an act, a performance. It begins with the mastery of nonverbal cues. They know that people trust what they see more than what they hear. So they hold their heads high, maintain steady eye contact, and adopt relaxed, open postures. These physical signals scream, "I know what I'm doing," meanwhile their words, smooth, calculated, and delivered with unwavering conviction, only reinforce the illusion. Here's the catch: they don't just fake confidence, they embody it in the moment. They have no fear of failure, no anxiety about being exposed. Their lack of fear isn't courage, it's an absence of the emotional mechanisms that keep the rest of us humble or hesitant. They don't second-guess themselves because there's no internal dialogue of self-doubt holding them back. Their charm is equally disarming. They know how to make you feel seen, heard, and valued, at least initially. That superficial warmth can be intoxicating, and it's designed to lower your guard. But make no mistake, beneath the surface lies a calculating mind focused solely on their goals, not your well-being. The question is, why do they succeed? Why do we fall for it? The answer lies in our collective naivety. We often mistake outward displays of confidence for genuine competence. We want to believe in people who seem sure of themselves because it feels reassuring. But psychopaths exploit this instinct, manipulating it to their advantage. Now, does this mean every confident person is a psychopath? Of course not. Genuine confidence comes from a foundation of competence, effort, and authenticity. But understanding the difference between real confidence and the counterfeit version is crucial in protecting ourselves and others from manipulation. Psychopathy is a complex and often misunderstood phenomenon, rooted deeply in the fabric of human behavior and psychology. When we talk about psychopathy, we are not simply referring to criminals or the caricatures portrayed in movies. It is not just about violence, recklessness, or a lack of moral compass. Psychopathy is a spectrum, and individuals with these traits can be found in boardrooms, politics, classrooms, and even in social circles. To understand how psychopaths fake confidence so perfectly, we must first delve into the essence of what psychopathy truly is and how it operates in the real world. At its core, psychopathy is a personality disorder marked by a constellation of traits: lack of empathy, superficial charm, manipulativeness, and a pronounced sense of fearlessness. What sets psychopaths apart from the average person is not merely their disregard for societal norms or moral boundaries, but their ability to function seamlessly in social settings while hiding their true nature. This duality, their internal emotional coldness contrasted with their external social fluency, is precisely what makes them so effective at faking confidence. They are, in a sense, performers who study and mimic human behavior with clinical precision, using it to achieve their own goals. Psychopaths are not burdened by the emotional turbulence that affects most people. They don't experience guilt, shame, or remorse in the same way. This absence of internal conflict allows them to navigate situations that would be paralyzing for others. Where a typical person might hesitate or falter due to self-doubt, a psychopath moves forward with unwavering composure. This is not because they are inherently more capable or skilled, but because they lack the emotional inhibitors that would normally prevent someone from acting boldly in uncertain or high-pressure scenarios. It's this psychological detachment that enables them to project an aura of unshakable confidence. But it's not just the absence of fear or doubt that allows psychopaths to exude confidence, it's their ability to study and replicate the behaviors of genuinely confident people. Psychopaths are keen observers of human nature. They notice how a confident person walks into a room, how they hold themselves, how they speak, and how they engage with others. They take these observations and internalize them, using them as a blueprint to craft their own personas. Unlike most people, who grow into confidence through experience and self-awareness, psychopaths reverse engineer it. They don't have to feel confident to appear confident, they only need to know what confidence looks like. What's remarkable is how seamlessly they pull it off. Psychopaths are adept at creating a facade that aligns perfectly with societal expectations. They know that people are drawn to certainty, that we instinctively associate confidence with competence. When a psychopath enters a room, they radiate a sense of authority and control. Their body language is deliberate, head held high, shoulders back, movements measured but relaxed. They know how to maintain eye contact, not in a way that feels invasive or awkward, but in a way that feels deliberate and engaged. Their speech is often smooth, measured, and laced with conviction. Even when they have no real expertise or knowledge, they speak as though they do, and because of their composure, people rarely think to challenge them. What makes this all the more insidious is their ability to mask any trace of manipulation. Psychopaths understand that their success hinges on trust. To build that trust, they rely on charm and almost magnetic quality that draws people in. This charm is often superficial, but it is so expertly executed that it feels genuine. They can make others feel at ease, valued, and even special, all while concealing their true intentions. This ability to disarm others emotionally is a key component of their fake confidence. It's not enough to merely appear confident, they must also ensure that those around them are invested in believing it. While many people struggle with self-doubt or the fear of being exposed, psychopaths have no such vulnerabilities. They don't grapple with imposter syndrome or worry about being found out. Their lack of emotional depth makes them impervious to these internal struggles, allowing them to present themselves with an air of certainty that is almost impossible to distinguish from the real thing. It's not that they don't fail or make mistakes, they do, but when they do, they don't dwell on it. They don't internalize failure as a reflection of their self-worth, which allows them to recover and continue projecting confidence as if nothing has happened. In essence, a psychopath's ability to fake confidence stems from a unique combination of psychological detachment, acute social awareness, and a meticulous ability to mimic human behavior. They are not weighed down by the emotional complexities that shape most people's interactions with the world. Instead, they exploit those complexities, using them to their advantage. Their confidence is not real in the sense that it is not rooted in genuine self-assurance or competence, but it feels real to those who encounter it. It is this illusion, this carefully constructed performance, that allows psychopaths to navigate the world with a confidence that appears effortless and authentic. It is a reminder that confidence, when stripped of substance, can be as deceptive as it is compelling. Confidence is a trait that people instinctively admire. It draws others in, signals authority, and often creates a sense of trust. But the confidence exhibited by psychopaths is not genuine, it's a facade, a carefully constructed illusion. To fully grasp how psychopaths fake confidence so convincingly, it's essential to understand the fundamental distinction between real confidence and what psychopaths project. Genuine confidence is built on a foundation of self-belief, experience, and competence, while the confidence psychopaths display is purely performative, designed to manipulate perceptions and achieve their goals. What's remarkable is not just their ability to imitate confidence, but how they leverage it to create a false sense of credibility and authority that can deceive almost anyone. At its core, this illusion of confidence stems from the psychopath's innate understanding of human psychology. Psychopaths are not emotionally burdened like most people. They lack empathy, remorse, and the self-doubt that often accompanies these emotions. For a typical person, confidence can falter under pressure or scrutiny. It's tied to internal feelings of worth and the fear of being judged or failing. Psychopaths, however, are not hindered by these fears. They are not plagued by self-reflection or insecurity, so their confidence remains unshaken even in high stress or uncertain situations. This absence of inner conflict enables them to present a version of themselves that appears calm, composed, and assured no matter the circumstances. To fake confidence, psychopaths focus on external signals, what people see and hear. They are masters at studying social cues and understanding how confidence is perceived by others. They know that confidence is not just about what you say, but how you say it. The tone of voice, the rhythm of speech, and the deliberate use of pauses all contribute to the impression of certainty. Psychopaths often speak with an air of conviction, even when lying or making things up on the spot. Their ability to maintain this tone without hesitating or second-guessing themselves makes their words seem credible. Most people, when they lie or feel uncertain, unconsciously reveal signs of discomfort, nervous fidgeting, changes in voice pitch, or avoiding eye contact. Psychopaths, however, do not experience the same internal stress when lying. This allows them to deliver falsehoods with the same ease and confidence as truths, making their deceptions incredibly difficult to detect. Beyond their verbal skills, psychopaths are acutely aware of the power of nonverbal communication in creating the illusion of confidence. They understand that body language is just as important, if not more so, than words. Their movements are controlled and deliberate. They adopt an upright posture, hold steady eye contact, and use open, expansive gestures that convey self-assurance. They project an image of ease and composure, which often disarms others. When people encounter someone who appears this confident, they rarely think to question whether it's genuine. Instead, they assume that such confidence must be rooted in real competence or authority. Psychopaths exploit this assumption, knowing that most people are drawn to those who exude certainty. Another key aspect of their fake confidence is their ability to adapt seamlessly to any social environment. Psychopaths are highly observant and quick to read the dynamics of a room. They tailor their behavior to suit the situation, presenting themselves in whatever way will be most effective. If the environment calls for assertiveness, they can dominate a conversation and take charge. If it requires charm and warmth, they can soften their approach, using flattery and humor to win people over. This adaptability further enhances the illusion of confidence, as it creates the impression that they are always in control and perfectly suited to any situation. Psychopaths also understand that confidence often comes across as a lack of hesitation. When asked a question, they respond quickly and decisively, even if they don't have the correct answer. Their responses are delivered with such certainty that people rarely stop to question their validity. This is particularly effective in situations where others might feel unsure or hesitant. The psychopath's decisive demeanor fills the gap, creating the impression that they are more knowledgeable or capable than they actually are. Their confidence becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as people start to rely on and trust them based on appearances alone. The absence of fear is another critical factor in their ability to fake confidence. Most people experience anxiety or self-doubt in high-pressure situations, which can undermine their confidence. Psychopaths, however, are largely immune to these feelings. Their lack of fear allows them to remain composed even in situations where the stakes are high. This fearlessness is not the result of courage or resilience, it's a byproduct of their psychological makeup. They don't experience the physiological responses such as a racing heart or sweating palms that often accompany stress. As a result, they can face challenges or confrontations with an ease that appears remarkable to others. What makes this illusion of confidence so dangerous is how persuasive it can be. Psychopaths use their fake confidence as a tool to manipulate and influence those around them. They know that confidence creates trust, and trust opens doors. Whether in a professional setting, a personal relationship, or a social interaction, their ability to project confidence can give them a significant advantage. People are more likely to follow, believe, or support someone who appears confident, even if that confidence is completely unfounded. Psychopaths understand this dynamic better than most, and they exploit it to achieve their goals, often at the expense of those who fall for their carefully constructed act. Psychopaths have a remarkable ability to manipulate the world around them, and one of their most potent tools is their mastery of nonverbal cues. These are the subtle, often unconscious signals that humans use to communicate beyond words, gestures, facial expressions, posture, and eye contact. For most people, these cues are instinctive and reflect their emotional states. A person might avoid eye contact when nervous, shift their posture when uncomfortable, or fidget when anxious. But psychopaths approach nonverbal communication differently. They don't simply express what they feel because they often lack the depth of emotion that drives such expressions. They deliberately craft their nonverbal behavior to control how others perceive them. This intentional use of body language is one of the key reasons they can so effectively fake confidence. One of the most striking features of a psychopath's nonverbal presentation is their control over their physical presence. They understand that the way they carry themselves speaks volumes before they even open their mouths. Psychopaths often adopt an upright posture, with their shoulders relaxed but squared, projecting an image of calm authority. They know that slouching, fidgeting, or appearing closed off would undermine the perception of confidence they aim to create. Instead, their movements are deliberate and measured. They take their time, avoiding any unnecessary haste or agitation that might suggest uncertainty. This deliberate physical composure makes them appear self-assured and in control, even in situations where they are not. Eye contact is another tool that psychopaths use with extraordinary precision. They understand the psychological power of looking someone in the eyes. Eye contact conveys confidence, sincerity, and attention. Most people feel reassured when someone maintains steady eye contact during a conversation. Psychopaths exploit this instinct by holding eye contact for just the right amount of time, long enough to appear engaged and assertive, but not so long that it becomes uncomfortable or confrontational. What makes this especially deceptive is that, unlike most people, they don't experience the emotional vulnerability that often accompanies prolonged eye contact. For someone without empathy or fear, maintaining steady eye contact isn't intimidating, it's simply a calculated tactic. In addition to posture and eye contact, psychopaths are acutely aware of how gestures can enhance their illusion of confidence. When they speak, their gestures are often slow, purposeful, and aligned with their words. They avoid overly dramatic or erratic movements, which could be interpreted as signs of nervousness or instability. Instead, their gestures are controlled and deliberate, emphasizing key points in their speech and reinforcing the impression that they are composed and authoritative. This contrasts sharply with how most people naturally gesture, where nervousness or excitement can lead to hurried or exaggerated motions. The psychopath's ability to maintain this level of control over their gestures adds to their aura of confidence and reliability. Another aspect of their nonverbal mastery is their ability to mirror others. Psychopaths are highly observant and skilled at reading social situations. They watch how others behave, their facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language, and subtly mimic these cues to build rapport. This mirroring creates a sense of familiarity and trust in their interactions. For example, if someone they are speaking with leans forward slightly, the psychopath might mirror this movement, signaling engagement and attentiveness. This mimicry is rarely noticed consciously but has a powerful subconscious effect, making others feel understood and comfortable in their presence. When combined with their calm and composed demeanor, this tactic amplifies the perception of confidence and likability. Their control over facial expressions is equally impressive. Most people's facial expressions are closely tied to their emotions. Happiness, frustration, fear, and doubt are all reflected in micro-expressions, those fleeting, involuntary movements that reveal our true feelings. Psychopaths, however, are not governed by the same emotional reactions as others. Instead, they treat their facial expressions as tools, using them to convey whatever emotion will serve their purpose in the moment. They can smile warmly to appear friendly and approachable, or adopt a serious expression to project authority and focus. This ability to mask their true intentions behind carefully chosen expressions makes them incredibly persuasive and disarming. Even in situations of high stress, where most people's nonverbal cues might betray their nervousness or discomfort, psychopaths remain composed. Their lack of fear or anxiety allows them to maintain their nonverbal performance without faltering. For example, in a high-stakes negotiation or confrontation, a typical person might show signs of stress, tightened jaw, clenched fists, or shifting weight from foot to foot. Psychopaths, by contrast, appear entirely unaffected, their movements and expressions remaining steady and controlled. This unshakable composure can make them appear more confident and capable than they truly are, giving them a significant advantage in these interactions. The deliberate use of nonverbal cues by psychopaths is not merely about projecting confidence, it's about manipulating perceptions. They understand that people instinctively trust those who appear confident and composed. By controlling their body language, facial expressions, and gestures, psychopaths create a version of themselves that is tailored to inspire trust and authority. This mastery of nonverbal communication is not something most people consciously recognize, but it is profoundly influential in shaping how they perceive and respond to the psychopath. The result is a carefully crafted illusion of confidence that is nearly impossible to distinguish from the real thing. Psychopaths are not just skilled at faking confidence, they are experts at understanding human psychology and exploiting it for their own benefit. One of their most potent strategies involves preying on people's natural biases, tendencies, and emotional responses to manipulate their perceptions. To achieve this, psychopaths take advantage of the deeply ingrained ways in which humans are wired to process information and make decisions. These manipulative techniques are often so subtle that the victims are unaware they are being influenced, further enabling the psychopath to maintain their facade of confidence and control. A key aspect of their manipulation lies in their ability to exploit the cognitive bias known as the halo effect. This psychological phenomenon leads people to assume that if someone exhibits one positive trait, they likely possess other desirable qualities as well. For example, when someone appears confident, others are more likely to believe that they are competent, trustworthy, and capable, even in the absence of evidence. Psychopaths leverage this bias by projecting an image of unwavering confidence, knowing that people will naturally associate it with other positive traits. This tactic is particularly effective in professional or leadership settings, where confidence is often equated with expertise or authority. By exploiting the halo effect, psychopaths can quickly gain the trust and admiration of others, even if they lack the skills or knowledge to back up their claims. Another tool psychopaths use is emotional manipulation. They are highly adept at reading people's emotional states and exploiting them to their advantage. Unlike most individuals who might act out of genuine concern or empathy, psychopaths use emotion strategically. For instance, they may feign vulnerability or charm to disarm others, making them less likely to scrutinize the psychopath's actions or intentions. By presenting themselves as likable or relatable, they lower people's defenses, creating a false sense of connection and trust. This emotional manipulation often involves mirroring the emotions of those around them. If someone is happy, the psychopath reflects their joy. If someone is upset, they project concern or understanding. This calculated emotional alignment makes people feel seen and understood, even though the psychopath's true goal is to exploit the situation. Psychopaths also exploit people's fear of confrontation or rejection. Most individuals are uncomfortable challenging someone who appears confident and self-assured. Psychopaths know this and use it to their advantage. By speaking with authority and certainty, they create an environment where others feel hesitant to question them. In situations where they might be caught lying or fabricating information, psychopaths often double down on their assertions, using their composure to intimidate or confuse their accusers. This strategy is sometimes referred to as bluffing with confidence. It works because people are more likely to doubt themselves than to challenge someone who appears so sure of their position. In addition to emotional and psychological manipulation, psychopaths are skilled at exploiting social norms and expectations. They understand that society values politeness, cooperation, and harmony, and they use these norms to their advantage. For example, in social or professional settings, they might push boundaries subtly, knowing that others are unlikely to call them out for fear of appearing rude or confrontational. By the time their manipulation becomes apparent, it is often too late, as the psychopath has already established themselves as a confident and credible figure in the eyes of those around them. This ability to operate within societal expectations while subtly bending them to their will is one of the reasons they are so effective at maintaining their facade of confidence. Another tactic psychopaths employ is creating an aura of scarcity or exclusivity around themselves. They understand that people are naturally drawn to what seems rare or valuable. By positioning themselves as someone who is highly sought after or uniquely skilled, they make others feel fortunate to have their attention or approval. This perception of exclusivity not only enhances their image of confidence, but also makes people more inclined to overlook inconsistencies or red flags in their behavior. It's a psychological trick that capitalizes on people's desire to associate with those who appear successful or exceptional, even if that success is entirely fabricated. Psychopaths are also masters at exploiting the psychological principle of reciprocity. This is the natural human tendency to feel obligated to return a favor or act of kindness. Psychopaths may offer compliments, assistance, or small gestures of goodwill, not out of genuine generosity, but as a means to create a sense of indebtedness in their target. Once the victim feels they owe the psychopath something, they become more pliable and less likely to question their intentions or behavior. This tactic reinforces the psychopath's image of confidence and control, as it places them in a position of perceived authority or influence over the other person. Perhaps one of the most insidious ways psychopaths manipulate perceptions is by creating chaos or uncertainty in their interactions. In situations of confusion or ambiguity, people often look for someone who appears confident to take the lead. Psychopaths thrive in these environments, stepping into the role of a decisive and composed figure. They use this chaos to their advantage, positioning themselves as problem solvers or leaders, even if they were the ones who created the disorder in the first place. This tactic not only solidifies their image of confidence, but also makes others more reliant on them, further entrenching their influence. Ultimately, psychopaths' ability to manipulate perceptions is rooted in their profound understanding of human nature. They know what people want to see, hear, and feel, and they use this knowledge to craft an image of confidence that is difficult to challenge. By exploiting cognitive biases, emotional vulnerabilities, social norms, and psychological principles, they create an illusion of competence and trustworthiness that often goes undetected. This manipulation is not random or impulsive, it is deliberate, calculated, and executed with precision, allowing psychopaths to maintain their facade and achieve their objectives at the expense of those who fall under their influence. Psychopaths are highly skilled in the art of lying, but what sets them apart is their ability to do so with absolute confidence and conviction. Lying, for most people, is a complicated process. It often induces stress, fear of being caught, or even guilt, all of which can reveal themselves through subtle verbal or nonverbal cues. Psychopaths, however, operate on a different psychological plane. They experience little to no emotional turmoil when lying, which allows them to fabricate stories and deceive others with remarkable ease. Their lies are not random or impulsive, they are carefully constructed and delivered with such certainty that they often pass as truth. This ability is a cornerstone of how psychopaths fake confidence and manipulate those around them. One of the key reasons psychopaths are such convincing liars is their lack of emotional attachment to the truth. Most people are emotionally invested in honesty, feeling a moral obligation to be truthful, even when it's inconvenient. Lying, for them, often triggers anxiety or guilt, which can manifest in their tone of voice, body language, or microexpressions. Psychopaths, however, are not constrained by such emotions. They view truth and lies as tools to be used interchangeably, depending on what serves their agenda. Without the emotional baggage that accompanies deceit for others, they can lie without hesitation or fear, making their falsehoods nearly indistinguishable from the truth. Their composure when lying is a significant factor in how they create an illusion of confidence. Psychopaths do not exhibit the typical signs of deception, such as nervous fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or inconsistent speech patterns. Instead, they remain calm, collected, and focused even when spinning elaborate lies. They maintain steady eye contact, speak in a measured tone, and use deliberate gestures to emphasize their words. This level of control not only makes their lies more believable, but also reinforces their projection of confidence. To the observer, someone who can lie so seamlessly must surely be self-assured and credible. Psychopaths are also masters of preparation when it comes to lying. They understand the importance of consistency in crafting a believable narrative. Before delivering a lie, they often rehearse it mentally, ensuring that all the details align and that the story can withstand scrutiny. This preparation enables them to answer questions or respond to challenges without hesitation, further solidifying the perception of their confidence. Even in situations where they are caught off guard, psychopaths have an uncanny ability to think on their feet. They can improvise seamlessly, weaving additional lies into their story without appearing flustered or uncertain. Their quick thinking and adaptability make them highly effective at maintaining their fabricated realities. Another tactic psychopaths employ is embedding their lies within a framework of truth. They understand that outright fabrication is riskier and more likely to arouse suspicion. Instead, they mix lies with elements of truth, making their stories harder to dissect. By anchoring their falsehoods in real events or verifiable facts, they create a narrative that appears credible on the surface. This strategy allows them to manipulate others without raising red flags, as most people are more inclined to believe a story that contains some elements of truth. Psychopaths also take advantage of the natural human tendency to trust. Most people operate on the assumption that others are generally honest. This social norm creates a baseline level of trust in interactions, which psychopaths exploit to their advantage. They understand that people are less likely to question someone who appears confident and self-assured. By presenting themselves as reliable and composed, psychopaths disarm skepticism and make their lies more readily accepted. Their ability to mimic sincerity and authenticity is a powerful tool, enabling them to manipulate perceptions and gain influence over others. What's particularly alarming is how psychopaths handle being caught in a lie. For most people, being exposed triggers embarrassment, panic, or an attempt to backtrack. Psychopaths, on the other hand, double down. If confronted, they often react with indignation or deflect attention by accusing the other person of misunderstanding or overreacting. Their lack of shame allows them to persist in their falsehoods, even in the face of evidence to the contrary. This boldness can leave their accuser doubting their own perceptions, a phenomenon known as gaslighting. By maintaining their composure and insisting on their version of events, psychopaths can turn the situation to their advantage, further reinforcing the illusion of their confidence and credibility. Psychopaths are also skilled at reading their audience and tailoring their lies accordingly. They pay close attention to the reactions and vulnerabilities of those they are deceiving, adjusting their approach to ensure maximum believability. For example, they may use charm and flattery to win someone's trust before introducing a lie. Alternatively, they might feign vulnerability or appeal to emotions to make their deceit more persuasive. This ability to customize their lies based on the context and the individual ensures that their manipulation is both effective and difficult to detect. Moreover, psychopaths rely on the assumption that people generally avoid conflict. Even when others suspect they might be lying, many are reluctant to challenge them, especially if the psychopath exudes confidence. This reluctance gives the psychopath a significant advantage, allowing them to continue their deception without fear of being called out. Their ability to lie so convincingly, combined with their composed demeanor, creates a psychological barrier that makes others question their own instincts rather than the psychopath's honesty. Ultimately, the psychopath's talent for lying is a critical component of their ability to fake confidence. By delivering falsehoods with unwavering certainty and seamlessly adapting their stories to suit the situation, they create an image of someone who is not only confident but also trustworthy and competent. Their lies are not just tools of deception, they are a means of exerting control, gaining influence, and manipulating those around them. What makes this skill particularly dangerous is how easily it can go undetected, leaving those who encounter the psychopath unaware of the manipulation until it's too late. Psychopaths possess an uncanny ability to adapt to their surroundings and manipulate social dynamics, enabling them to project an image of confidence in virtually any situation. This remarkable adaptability is one of the key elements that allow them to maintain their facade, regardless of the environment or the people they are interacting with. Unlike many individuals who may struggle in unfamiliar or uncomfortable situations, psychopaths thrive in them. Their ability to read social cues, gauge the mood of a room, and adjust their behavior accordingly is a vital component of their false confidence. A crucial part of their social adaptability lies in their acute observational skills. Psychopaths are expert at picking up on the subtle cues that others often overlook: the way people shift their posture when feeling uncomfortable, the tone of voice that signals insecurity, or even the fleeting micro-expressions that reveal underlying emotions. With this information, they are able to adjust their own behavior to match the expectations of those around them. If they sense that a group requires someone to take charge, they will step into a leadership role, displaying an assertiveness and decisiveness that makes them seem like natural authorities. On the other hand, if the situation calls for a more empathetic or charismatic approach, they can easily switch gears, becoming the life of the party or the supportive friend, even if these roles are completely at odds with their true nature. This flexibility allows psychopaths to seamlessly integrate into different social groups, whether they are at a corporate meeting, a casual social gathering, or a high-stakes negotiation. They understand that different settings have different expectations, and they can quickly modify their presentation to fit in. This adaptability creates the illusion of a highly competent, confident individual who is comfortable in any situation. By appearing perfectly suited to whatever environment they find themselves in, psychopaths foster trust and gain the support of those around them. People are naturally drawn to individuals who seem effortlessly capable of navigating complex social landscapes, and this makes it easier for the psychopath to manipulate and influence others. Moreover, psychopaths often excel in social environments that are emotionally charged or fraught with tension. While most people would feel uncomfortable or vulnerable in such situations, psychopaths remain unflustered, even using the tension to their advantage. They are not swayed by the emotions that typically govern social interactions, such as fear, guilt, or nervousness. Instead, they use these emotions to manipulate others. If a person in a group becomes anxious, the psychopath may use that anxiety to establish themselves as the calm, rational center of the group. They might step forward and offer solutions with such poise and confidence that others are compelled to follow their lead. This behavior is not based on any true sense of competence, but rather on the psychopath's ability to project a convincing image of control and assurance. This fearlessness in the face of discomfort also allows psychopaths to push boundaries and take risks that most others would shy away from. Whether it's in social interactions, professional decisions, or personal relationships, they are not afraid to take chances, even if it means stepping on others to get what they want. This audacity often adds to their perceived confidence. People tend to admire those who are bold, who seem to have an unshakable belief in their ability to succeed. When a psychopath pushes the envelope or challenges norms, others are more likely to view them as pioneers or visionary leaders rather than reckless or manipulative individuals. Additionally, psychopaths can easily read and manipulate the emotions of others, which gives them a significant edge in any social interaction. They are experts at gauging how people feel in a given moment, and they use this understanding to tailor their responses in a way that makes them seem more attuned to the needs and emotions of those around them. For example, in a professional setting, if a colleague is anxious about an upcoming presentation, the psychopath might step in, offering encouragement and guidance, all while maintaining a sense of poise and authority. This ability to read and respond to emotional cues helps the psychopath build rapport and make others feel comfortable, which in turn makes them more likely to trust and rely on the psychopath. Their apparent empathy and understanding further enhance the illusion of confidence. However, their ability to adapt is not just about charm or social grace, it also involves a deep understanding of power dynamics and how to exploit them. Psychopaths are highly attuned to the hierarchies in any given group or situation. They know when to assert themselves and when to defer to others, depending on what will give them the most control. They understand that showing vulnerability or weakness can cause others to lose confidence in them, so they never allow themselves to appear unsure. Instead, they present themselves as steady and in control, even if they have no idea what they're doing. By reading the room, they can position themselves as the person to turn to in times of uncertainty, which only reinforces their sense of power and self-assurance. This skill in manipulating social dynamics extends to their ability to charm and win over individuals. Psychopaths are not limited to controlling groups or environments, they can also target specific individuals within these groups. Through their charm, they can establish connections that seem deep and genuine, even if the relationships are superficial and self-serving. They understand how to flatter, impress, and make others feel important, all while keeping their true intentions hidden. This manipulation creates a sense of loyalty and trust, which allows the psychopath to continue fostering their illusion of confidence while advancing their own agenda. What is most remarkable about the psychopath's adaptability is how effectively they maintain this performance over time. Their ability to blend in, read others, and adjust their behavior in real time makes them seem almost like chameleons, able to take on any role that will benefit them. In doing so, they create a false yet convincing persona of confidence that others readily accept. Because their behavior is so aligned with the expectations and norms of their social environment, it's difficult for others to detect the underlying manipulation or recognize the lack of authenticity behind their confidence. Ultimately, a psychopath's capacity for social adaptability is a central component of their ability to fake confidence. It allows them to navigate complex social landscapes, win the trust and admiration of others, and manipulate situations to their advantage. By reading people, understanding power dynamics, and adjusting their behavior accordingly, they maintain their carefully crafted image of a confident, competent individual, all while advancing their own hidden agenda. Psychopaths are masterful at exploiting other people's trust to manipulate and control them, and this ability is a critical part of how they fake confidence. Trust is one of the most powerful forces in human relationships, and psychopaths understand its value and how to leverage it. They know that once they establish an initial bond of trust, they can use it to influence, deceive, and even exploit their targets for personal gain. Psychopaths take advantage of people's natural inclination to believe that others are honest and well-intentioned. This creates a fertile ground for manipulation, allowing them to weave their lies and deceit into the very fabric of their interactions. At the heart of a psychopath's ability to gain trust is their skill at reading others and mirroring their behavior. They are incredibly perceptive when it comes to identifying the needs, desires, and vulnerabilities of those they interact with. By observing their target carefully, psychopaths can determine what makes someone feel comfortable, secure, or valued. They then adjust their behavior to align with these emotional triggers, mimicking the characteristics or qualities that the other person values. This mirroring technique creates an illusion of shared values or interests, making it easier for the psychopath to gain the trust of others. They may adopt a similar communication style, express the same opinions, or even pretend to share personal experiences, all to foster a deeper sense of connection. This ability to mirror extends to a psychopath's understanding of social and emotional cues. For example, if they are speaking with someone who is going through a difficult time, a psychopath will often know just what to say or do to appear sympathetic or empathetic. They may offer comforting words or gestures, but the key difference is that their concern is not genuine. It is a calculated response designed to elicit trust and a sense of connection. The psychopath's apparent concern for the other person's well-being creates a false sense of intimacy, which in turn makes the victim more susceptible to manipulation. Because the victim feels understood and supported, they are more likely to open up, let their guard down, and ultimately trust the psychopath. Once trust is established, psychopaths take full advantage of it. They may start asking for favors, small ones at first, and gradually escalate to larger demands. Because the trust between them and their target has been carefully nurtured, the victim is often willing to comply without questioning the psychopath's motives. Psychopaths understand that people are more likely to say yes to requests when they feel emotionally invested in the relationship or feel that their trust has been earned. This sense of obligation is part of the psychological principle of reciprocity, which dictates that people feel compelled to return favors or kindnesses they have received. Psychopaths exploit this principle by offering small acts of kindness, compliments, or assistance, all of which are designed to make the other person feel indebted. Once the victim feels obligated, the psychopath can then ask for more significant favors or even coerce them into unethical or illegal actions. Another way psychopaths exploit trust is by creating a sense of dependency in their victims. By carefully manipulating emotions and circumstances, they can make the other person feel as though they are reliant on the psychopath for support, guidance, or approval. This sense of dependency makes it much harder for the victim to break free from the psychopath's control. In these situations, the psychopath often cultivates an aura of indispensability. They may convince the person that they are the only one who truly understands them or that their guidance is crucial for success. The victim, now emotionally invested, begins to believe that they cannot function without the psychopath's influence, making it much more difficult for them to recognize the manipulation. Psychopaths also employ a technique known as gaslighting to further exploit trust and destabilize their targets. Gaslighting is a psychological manipulation tactic where the psychopath distorts reality and causes the victim to question their own perceptions and memories. This is done subtly, often over a long period of time, so that the victim's sense of reality becomes increasingly distorted. The psychopath may deny things they previously said or did, contradict the victim's recollections, or accuse the victim of being overly sensitive or paranoid. As the victim begins to doubt their own judgment, they become more dependent on the psychopath's version of events, which gives the manipulator even greater control. The process erodes the victim's self-confidence and further deepens their reliance on the psychopath. Additionally, psychopaths can manipulate their targets by appealing to their sense of pride or ego. They may praise and flatter the victim, making them feel special or valued in a way that reinforces the connection. This flattery is often a tool to increase the victim's trust, as they believe the psychopath is genuine in their admiration or affection. In many cases, the psychopath will use this flattery to exploit the person's weaknesses or insecurities. By understanding what makes the victim feel good about themselves, they can manipulate them into doing things they would otherwise not agree to. For instance, a psychopath may compliment someone's intelligence or talents to build their confidence, then use that inflated sense of self-worth to pressure them into taking risks or making decisions that benefit the psychopath. Psychopaths are also adept at manipulating group dynamics to further exploit the trust of others. They understand that people tend to follow those they perceive as strong, confident, or influential, and they use this to their advantage. In group settings, psychopaths often position themselves as leaders or authorities, subtly guiding the actions and decisions of the group. Because they have already cultivated a sense of trust and respect, their influence is often unquestioned. This enables them to manipulate the group's behavior, either to achieve personal goals or to undermine others. In these situations, the psychopath can project an image of confidence and competence, further reinforcing the trust placed in them, while covertly controlling the group's decisions. Ultimately, the exploitation of trust is a crucial aspect of how psychopaths fake confidence. They are not only adept at establishing trust, but they also understand how to exploit it for their own benefit. Through techniques such as mirroring, emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and the creation of dependency, psychopaths gain control over their victims and create a false sense of security. This ability to exploit the very trust that others place in them allows psychopaths to maintain their facade of confidence, even while they manipulate and deceive those around them for personal gain. Psychopaths are particularly skilled at maintaining their false confidence over long periods, often creating a seemingly unshakable image of self-assuredness and competence. This endurance is a critical part of their ability to manipulate and control others, as it allows them to maintain their facade despite challenges or scrutiny. One of the primary reasons psychopaths can keep up this act is their extraordinary ability to compartmentalize their emotions and actions. Unlike most people who may be affected by stress, guilt, or fear when engaging in deception or manipulation, psychopaths are remarkably indifferent to these emotions. They can suppress their feelings or push them aside entirely, allowing them to focus on maintaining their false image without being distracted by internal turmoil. This emotional detachment enables them to project a sense of confidence and control, even in the face of adversity. Compartmentalization is a key defense mechanism that allows psychopaths to separate their true intentions from the persona they project. They can engage in harmful or deceptive behavior without feeling conflicted because they do not allow themselves to connect their actions to their personal identity. For instance, a psychopath may lie or deceive others without experiencing the guilt or remorse that would normally accompany such behavior. Instead, they treat each interaction or manipulation as a discrete event, disconnected from the larger moral framework that guides most people's behavior. This ability to separate their actions from their emotions gives them a distinct advantage in maintaining their false confidence over time, as they are not burdened by the psychological weight of their deceit. This lack of emotional disturbance is coupled with an exceptional level of mental control. Psychopaths can regulate their thoughts and behaviors with precision, allowing them to respond to any situation with the right amount of confidence, charm, or aggression. They do not react impulsively or let their emotions guide their actions. Instead, they calculate their responses to ensure they maintain the desired image. In high-pressure situations where others might crack under stress, psychopaths remain calm and composed. This emotional control reinforces their facade of confidence and competence, making them seem even more reliable and capable than they truly are. Another factor that contributes to a psychopath's ability to sustain their false confidence is their tendency to avoid situations where they might be exposed or challenged. Psychopaths are often strategic in choosing their environments, ensuring they operate in spaces where they have a clear advantage or where their manipulations are less likely to be questioned. For example, in professional settings, they may target roles or projects where they can appear competent without being scrutinized too closely. They are skilled at finding environments where they can gain influence, project authority, and maintain the appearance of competence without being subject to the kind of challenges that would expose their lack of real ability. In personal relationships, psychopaths often target individuals who are more likely to be trusting or emotionally vulnerable. They can maintain the appearance of confidence by aligning themselves with people who will not question them or who are too emotionally invested to critically evaluate their behavior. They may surround themselves with people who admire them or who are too intimidated to challenge their authority. By carefully controlling their social circle and the situations in which they operate, psychopaths can avoid scenarios where their true nature might be revealed. Psychopaths also benefit from their ability to predict and manipulate the reactions of others. By carefully observing people's behaviors and understanding their motivations, psychopaths can tailor their responses to ensure they maintain control of the situation. They know how to push people's buttons to elicit the desired response, and they can adjust their behavior accordingly. This ability to predict and manipulate social dynamics allows them to maintain their confidence even when faced with resistance or suspicion. They can deflect attention away from their shortcomings or mistakes by skillfully shifting blame or distracting others with new lies. This constant control over the narrative keeps their image intact and prevents them from being exposed. Furthermore, psychopaths often possess a remarkable ability to exploit the weaknesses of others, which reinforces their confidence and enhances their sense of control. They are adept at identifying people's fears, insecurities, or desires, and they use this knowledge to manipulate others into doing what they want. For example, they may prey on someone's desire for approval or affection, using flattery and charm to gain their trust and then making subtle demands. By exploiting these vulnerabilities, psychopaths ensure that they remain in positions of power and influence, which sustains their false sense of confidence. The more they can control the people around them, the more they feel validated and capable, further reinforcing their self-image. Even when confronted with evidence that could expose their lies or manipulation, psychopaths are adept at maintaining their composure and deflecting blame. Rather than becoming defensive or admitting fault, they often respond with indignation or denial, turning the situation back on the accuser. This tactic, known as gaslighting, creates confusion and self-doubt in their targets, making them less likely to challenge the psychopath's version of events. By shifting the focus onto others and casting doubt on their perceptions, psychopaths can continue to project an image of confidence even when their deception is beginning to unravel. Another important factor in a psychopath's ability to maintain their false confidence is their ability to compartmentalize their life. Psychopaths often live multiple separate lives with different personas for each. They may present themselves as successful professionals in one context, while simultaneously engaging in deceitful or criminal behavior in another. These separate lives are kept hidden from one another, allowing the psychopath to maintain the illusion of competence and control in each area. The compartmentalization of their lives prevents the exposure of inconsistencies or contradictions in their behavior, allowing them to continue projecting confidence without fear of being caught. Psychopaths also have a remarkable ability to remain focused on their long-term goals, which helps them maintain their false confidence over time. Unlike most people who may become discouraged or distracted by short-term setbacks, psychopaths are able to persist in their manipulations and deceptions without losing focus. They understand that maintaining their facade of confidence is a long-term strategy that requires patience and careful planning. This single-mindedness allows them to continue manipulating others and pursuing their goals, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. In essence, a psychopath's ability to maintain their false confidence is the result of a combination of emotional detachment, strategic behavior, and social manipulation. They are able to suppress their true emotions, compartmentalize their actions, and predict the behavior of others with remarkable precision. This allows them to maintain an unshakable image of confidence, even in the face of adversity. By exploiting the vulnerabilities of others and carefully controlling their environment, psychopaths are able to sustain their facade and continue manipulating those around them, all while projecting an image of self-assurance and competence. In conclusion, the ability of psychopaths to perfectly fake confidence is not merely the result of superficial charm or quick-wittedness. It is a complex interplay of psychological traits, strategic manipulation, and emotional detachment. Psychopaths craft and maintain their false sense of confidence by exploiting the social dynamics around them, reading people with precision, and adjusting their behavior to fit any given situation. Their remarkable adaptability, emotional control, and lack of moral constraints enable them to establish trust, manipulate others, and appear as natural leaders or authorities, all while pursuing their hidden agendas. They are masters of compartmentalization, able to separate their true intentions from their public persona, which allows them to sustain their confidence over long periods, even in the face of potential exposure. Through these calculated actions, they not only deceive those around them, but also reinforce their own sense of control and superiority. Understanding the mechanisms behind this fake confidence is crucial, as it empowers us to recognize and protect ourselves from the manipulative behaviors of those who seek to exploit trust for personal gain.